When we don't have the revenue to support the budgets that we receive from the legislature, we have to make some hard decisions.
Today on the Morning Edition, a new hurdle in the education funding battle as Governor Dunleavy slashes some of the per-student funding increase Alaska school districts had built their budgets around. His reasoning for the line-item veto and how school districts are reacting. Plus, people living at Davis Park are on notice. 4 days from now, the city will abate the camp, but some clearly aren't ready to leave. What some of them are saying as the city plans to clear the area as smoothly as possible. And later, when you become a police officer in Florida, learning how to handle a gator is basically part of the training. So when one Florida officer, originally from New York, encounters one for the first time, he's less than enthused, and the reaction is priceless. As the Morning Edition starts now. Good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. And it is a spooky Friday the 13th.
I completely forgot that today was Friday the 13th.
Well, sorry to break the news.
Thankfully, we do have some nice weather in store
That's a
for
good
us.
thing.
We are still holding on to a stretch of some sunshine, those warming conditions. And like we've been dealing with for the past couple of days, we will continue to see some of those hazy conditions in the atmosphere. Now, we're not expected to smell any smoke at the surface. This smoke aloft is well aloft in the atmosphere that is primarily just going to cause some hazy conditions. And this comes from those wildfires that have been going on in Canada. We're currently at 52 degrees here in Anchorage with those winds out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. We could see some breezy conditions today, but plenty of sunshine remains with us. You can see 37 in Golcana, 52 in Seward, 46 degrees in Palmer. We are going to chase the upper 60s and 70s today across South Central as we continue to hold on to this stretch of warmer weather, and we'll likely continue to see that sunshine into our Saturday as well. But as far as what we are starting off this morning, it is dry. We will see some increasing clouds, high-level clouds, but mostly expected to hold on to mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies across South Central for the rest of today, with those temperatures certainly remaining on the warmer side. So there's our ridge still with us. That's keeping active weather out towards the Bering Sea, western parts of the state as well. There's our closed level, upper level low that's been keeping some rain showers out towards southeast. That's also helping funnel in some of those hazy skies from Canada. So again, be prepared for some of those hazy conditions sticking around as far north as the slope, where we will see some of those smoky skies. There's that active weather as you head out towards western southwest Alaska, really favoring the southern Seward Peninsula, Norton Sound, as well as through parts of the Yukon Delta, where we're going to continue to see that chance for some rain sticking around through the day. Here across South Central, we are going to be dry. We can't rule out some spotty to isolated thunderstorms into the afternoon and evening. But as far as that sunshine, it stays with us today and into our Saturday. Now, by Sunday and Monday, we will see a bit more cloud coverage. Temperatures, though, still on the warm side. I'll have more on that in that 7-day coming up.
In this morning's top story, education funding hits another roadblock, and school districts across Alaska are now scrambling to rework their budgets. Governor Mike Dunleavy cut more than $50 million in per-student funding in a line-item veto as he signed the budget bill Thursday.
The oil situation has deteriorated. The price of oil has gone down. Therefore, our revenue is going down. And basically, we don't have enough money to pay for all of our obligations.
That was part of the governor's message right before he announced a total of $122 million in cuts. As for the $51 million in per-student funding, that reduces the base student allocation from $700 to $500. Lawmakers passed the $700 BSA by overriding an earlier veto. Lawmakers say right now there are many legal questions, but also telling Alaska's news source it'll be difficult to bring enough members back to Juneau to vote on an override. In Anchorage, Superintendent Jarrett Bryant and school board members calling it an education emergency. Anchorage's chief financial officer saying at a special meeting the cuts translate to more than $4 million the state's largest school district now has to account for. School leaders now fearing the impacts the sudden funding loss per student will have on the district and the children it serves. Bryant saying the district finalized its budget with a number lower than what they believed the legislature would pass, still anticipating an increase after the governor's assurances.
Right, and I really want the public to understand this, that we took a calculated effort to assume a $560 projection. $560 is because that's the number the governor himself said that he was comfortable with through his own separate BSA bill. So that number actually came directly from the man that just vetoed below that number. So we truly are in a crisis situation.
The school board voted unanimously last night to authorize the superintendent to implement a hiring freeze, though it's unclear what kind of positions. Bryant also mentioned emergency school closures are on the table, as are increased class sizes. Also, with the cuts in the interior, the governor's office says the Tanana School District will be dissolved and absorbed into the YK Delta School District. You can watch the governor's full announcement, as well as a link to read the full budget on our webpage and mobile app. Well, those living at Davis Park have 4 days to clear the area before the city begins the abatement process Tuesday. Lauren Maxwell visited the park to see who's packing up and who's not ready to budge.
On a sunny day, the scene at the head of Davis Park doesn't look so bad. The junked-out vehicles are gone.
Okay.
Only a few scattered tents on green grass remain.
Any of you guys want to tell us kind of what your plans are?
Some say they're getting ready to leave. But a walk in the woods reveals others who clearly are not. People at this end of the park live in more permanent encampments.
And here's another one that doesn't look like they're ready to pack up anytime soon. As you can see, it's a 2-story structure, and there's plenty of stuff on the ground.
The city says in recent days, at least 26 people have left the camp to move into shelter with the help of outreach workers.
I visit with my friend and I stay here every now and then.
Heather Aragon isn't one of them. She says she can understand why the city wants campers out of Davis Park.
It's a park, so, that makes sense.
But Aragon doesn't live here. She lives here, across the street at the snow dump, where conditions are even worse. She says it's been home for a long time. She doesn't want to move.
We've been here almost 5 years. Why are you guys wanting to abate us now when it's 5 years later?
Our tents are our homes.
Greg Smith is another longtime resident. He says when Tuesday comes, he's not going anywhere.
They have to evict us if they want us gone.
He believes the law is on his side. The city has posted notices warning the abatement is coming on Tuesday, and people need to be prepared.
The city says even after abatement gets underway here, outreach teams and police will still be active in the surrounding areas. It's an effort to stop people from setting up camp in the neighborhoods or another area of the park. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Tragedy in Cordova after a missing 3-year-old was found dead on the tidal flats this week. That's according to the Department of Public Safety. According to Alaska State Troopers, the boy was reported to have wandered away from his home and went missing for several hours overnight Tuesday. Multiple agencies and local groups searched for hours until his body was found just after 6 a.m. The state medical examiner is investigating. After 2 international suspects were arrested in Petersburg, with prosecutors saying they posed as DEA agents and stole almost $130,000 from a resident, the Better Business Bureau says there are ways to help protect yourself.
This is something that we see a lot happening.
While the BBB is not a government agency, it tracks scams across the country. It says that last year, more than 1,300 people across the U.S. have contacted the BBB, reporting government imposter scams they say totaled more than $1.7 million. Immediate red flags include random calls requesting money.
They're master manipulators. They know what to say and how to say it to kind of silence that symphony of sirens going off in the back of your head where you're saying, hey, this is probably a scam, and they'll assure you it's not. But the good news is the more red flags, the more sirens that are going off, the more likely it is that you'll pause and get out of that situation.
In the Petersburg case, 2 people are being charged with a scheme to defraud and first-degree theft. The police chief says that a 3rd suspect is also now involved. Go to our website for a link to access the BBB's Scam Survival Toolkit. Matanuska's Assistant Borough Mayor Edna DeVries has filed to run for Alaska governor. DeVries moved to Palmer in 1969 and has served as a state senator, Matsu mayor, and numerous state and local boards. She joins a growing field of candidates vying for the governor's seat, including Lieutenant Governor Nancy Dahlstrom, former state senator Click Bishop, and business owner Bernadette Wilson. Still ahead, it's that time to be bear aware, even in downtown Anchorage, as a black bear was spotted enjoying a late morning stroll. What happened when the bear showed up near local businesses?
Sunshine remains with us across the state. We're going to see those temperatures in the interior certainly warming well into the 80s. I'll have more on that, but first, sunrise, 422 in Anchorage, 351 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
What's the saying of Anchorage? Big wildlife? So, yeah, you never know what you're going to see.
A black bear cub caused quite a scene in downtown Anchorage Thursday morning, spotted roaming outside the federal courthouse there. Law enforcement blocked off the area as Fish and Game officers moved in. It took a few attempts, but the cub was safely tranquilized and removed. Officials say it was a game of patience and timing to ensure a safe capture. Around noon, the bear was seen being tranquilized by a crew and put into a holding container in a truck. Fish and Game confirms the animal is safe and back at home in the woods. Aaron, just enjoying a stroll downtown, but that's just a reminder to all of us that no matter where you are, even if it's severely populated, you might run into wildlife.
Yeah, especially with this pleasant weather that we've been seeing across South Central. More and more of us are getting outdoors, taking hold of this summertime warmth. We're waking up to 48 degrees in Fairbanks along the slope. Those temperatures sitting in the 30s to start off the morning. And later this afternoon, we'll see areas of the slope potentially warming into the 50s with locations out towards Anaktuvik Pass making a run near 70 degrees. So we do have that flood watch that remains in effect for the foreseeable future, as we could see some rapid snowmelt taking place. Active weather continues out towards western Alaska as well as through the Aleutians. This is where we've got ongoing rain as well as some gusty conditions, while locations out towards southeast continue to see at least some rain showers as you head out towards the northern panhandle. What we're going to be watching here over the next couple of days, particularly into the interior, is hot weather that's going to build back in across the state. There is a heat advisory that will go into effect beginning at 1 p.m. June 15th and then lasting through the evening hours. We're talking about hot temperatures expected up to 86 degrees. For parts of the interior. And this is primarily going to lead to some concerns for those who are not accustomed to the temperatures, these summertime temperatures that we tend to see here across the state. That Fairbanks day planner showing that temperatures easily warming into the 80s later today. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a stray to isolated thunderstorm development throughout the afternoon and evening hours. But like we've been dealing with for most of this week, we will continue to remain on the dry side. You can see there's those temperatures steadily warming mid to upper 80s as we welcome in your Father's Day weekend. Isolated storms will become more of the norm as we welcome in next week, as we begin to lose some of this ridging or some of the influence from this ridging. That'll allow a bit more cloud coverage as well as a chance that we could see some isolated to scattered thunderstorms in the forecast. Still fairly quiet here across the Gulf Coast region. Can't rule out some of that stray to isolated activity, but for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue to hold on to mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Now, by Sunday or Monday, we will see a bit more cloud coverage across South Central, but still expected to see those temperatures remaining on the warm side. Showers remain to the north. We are going to see those temperatures topping out in the upper 50s, and then a lot quieter conditions expected into the weekend with temperatures warming into the 60s here across South Central. You can see mid to upper 60s look likely. Some breezy conditions will be possible throughout the day. We've got those 60s across a good portion of South Central. Now, as you head through the Copper River Basin into the valley, this is where we're going to see those temperatures working their way into the 70s. And much like we did see yesterday, some hazy conditions will remain on the horizon, and that's from those wildfires in Canada. So low to mid 70s across the valley, while here in Anchorage, we will be chasing 70. You can see some breezy conditions arriving more so towards the late afternoon and evening hours as well. We'll see some of those gusty conditions. Max wind should be about 25 miles per hour. You can see that 7-day forecast. We do cool off into your Father's Day. Temperatures do drop back down into the upper 50s and lower 60s. We'll see some showers across South Central, particularly into our Monday. And then into next week, while the cloud coverage will remain with us, still trending a bit on the drier side, but those temperatures will work their way back near 70 by the middle to the end of next week.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. Here in Alaska, 3 banners bear her name at Diamond High School. In Massachusetts, that name is now inside the Basketball Hall of Fame. As Tyler Lane reports from her time in college and now in the WNBA, Alyssa Peely continues to represent Indigenous people in the game of basketball.
Alaskans have known the name Alyssa Peely for years, but now
one of my old teammates, when I used to go to USC, texted me and said my jersey was in the Hall of Fame.
It'll be known nationwide. Her jersey from Utah now hanging in the halls of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
My last year at Utah, our media person there, Corey, she had asked me for to sign a jersey and that it was going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I mean, at that time, I had so much stuff going on where I didn't really realize what exactly, how big it was.
Even when it came to telling her family.
It was the ending of my senior year, so I had a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't really share that with them. I guess, yeah, maybe I should.
Now in her second year with the Lynx, Peely has become an icon for Indigenous athletes, the exact reason the Hall chose to honor her.
For us at the Hall, we're all about, the history side, but it's also about all those little stories that kind of help other people to achieve their goals. She's making basketball history for her people in Alaska.
History, heritage, and a state she's proud to represent.
I know that will be there for a long time where people could physically see it and kind of know my story and what I brought and how I carried my culture and where I'm from with me. It's super special to know.
Tyler Lane, Alaska's news source.
In the league today, Peely's Lynx continue to look just as good as last year. Minnesota currently has the second best record in the league, with Peely seeing action in 8 of the team's 10 games so far. A Fairbanks resident made some history of her own, proving age is no barrier when it comes to physical fitness. Jane Lanford ran 70 miles in 70 days on her 70th birthday. She also completed the challenge to raise money for disaster relief. Lanford partnered up with Shelterbox USA. She started the run on the Denali Highway on her birthday, finishing on Monday. Lanford said this is her 5th time running in celebration of her birthday and finds 70 miles in 3 days a bit easier than marathons she's participated in.
I'm trying to come to terms with how much I've slowed down in the past few years, but it's okay. I'm still out there, and I hope to inspire other people to run. That's really it.
Lanford says this year's race is her last, but she will continue to participate in future marathons.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically, and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.